Hello, everybody, and thank you for attending today. I am pleased to welcome you to our last web meeting in our series of free web meetings dedicated to European companies and organizations interested in developing multifunctional lightweight materials and components with the support of the European project OASIS. Myself, I am Julien Crébassa. I worked at Blue Morpho as an innovation business developer. Blue Morpho is the industrial innovation partner of leading companies focusing on delivering disruption to create value with all forms of innovation, from technologies to new business models. In the frame of the OASIS project, Blue Morpho is responsible for the business services, business coaching of supported companies and the access to private investment opportunities. I am very happy to have here with me 4 speakers. First, Sonia Flores Fernandez from Technalia and project coordinator of the project will give you an overview about the OASIS and its different activities. Then Roman, program manager and in charge of the open call, will give you more details and insight on how you can apply to this unique opportunity. And finally, Asuncion from Airbus and Zampiak from Pleione Energy will present you how companies are working with the support of OASIS. Before I hand over to Sonia and her presentation, let me tell you a few organizational things. First, we are recording this webinar and you will get access to the recording and the slide deck. So we will share the slides on the project website and I will tell you by the end of the week when they will be uploaded. In the interface of the software on the right, you can see a question box. Do not hesitate to type all your questions to all our speakers during the different presentation and we'll get back to them at the end of the presentation. So since we want to know who are our audience today, I will launch a question. So what type of organization are you part of? Corporate, SMEs, research institution or academia, clusters, or other organizations? I will let you some time to reply. I will close in a few seconds. So I close now. So now I will hand over to Sonia that will present you the project itself and its activities. So Sonia, the floor is yours.
Well, first of all, thank you very much and welcome everybody to this webinar. I would like to thank Julian for the presentation. I am Sonia Flores from Technalia. I am coordinating the OASIS project. Before introduce you to the project, I would like to thank my colleague Roman Pasek, member of the coordination board of the project, and also special thanks to my colleagues, the other speakers coming from Airbus and Pleione. They are going to present the showcases they are developing for 2 different sectors, transportation, aeronautics, and for energy. So I will take out the camera so everybody, the presentation goes smoother. So, OASIS project. Can you see? I guess you all can see my screen.
Yes, we see it. Can you switch to presenter mode?
Yes. Let me know. Yeah, okay.
Yes, perfect. So, thank you.
Yeah. Yes, OASIS project started in January 2019. So the project is in its 20 months of life. And I would like to present the project objectives and the activities the project is addressing. But first of all, I would like to tell you why OASIS project. Well, you all know that European regulation with respect to CO2 emission is becoming more and more stringent. Sectors such as transport, energy, or construction are demanding lightweight and high-performance materials. Dense metals are being replaced by lighter metal or by polymer composites. However, each one individually does not meet all requirements for mechanical, electrical, and thermal abilities. Moreover, providing multifunctional products expected by these markets at right costs is boosting the need for further integration of functional elements in the structure, and at the same time setting up new processes to reduce cycle time and produce net-shape parts. Nanotechnology, combined with other key enabling technologies such as advanced materials and advanced manufacturing, can lead to lighter and multifunctional structures answering major European missions. The introduction of nanotechnologies in metallic and polymer composites in today's industrialized system as part of advanced materials and advanced manufacturing processes in different sectors depend very much on understanding all basic processes that will contribute to overcome the barriers that materials are currently facing to be introduced in the market. Companies are facing several bottlenecks that should be overcome to access new technologies as a first step prior to the implementation of the manufacturing processes as part of manufacturing plants for a specific product answering clients' requirements. The introduction of nanotechnologies in a certain part is limited by the need for specialized expertise. Also, investment costs and access to novel techniques are either too high or not a priority for small or large companies, respectively. On the other hand, individual companies or research organizations do not offer facilities and services covering the full development value chain and range of materials, intermediates, and products. In addition, the development of products based on lightweight, nano-enabled multifunctional materials may require access to finance and an optimized business plan definition based on the prior exploration of economic impacts. So the solution to this is found in the OASIS universe. OASIS gathers 20 companies and organizations from 7 European countries that are cooperating under the roof of OASIS, aiming at developing advanced manufacturing facilities ecosystem, composed of 12 pilot lines for nano-enabled lightweight materials and associated technological and business support services. So in essence, OASIS aims at developing and organize a sustainable open innovation testbed for innovative scale-up of smart lightweight aluminum and polymer-based composite compounds and products to which companies, and more precisely SMEs, can gain access through a single entry point to develop, test, and adapt new lightweight, high-performance, multifunctional, safe, and environmentally friendly high-value materials, components, and structures in a cost-effective and sustainable way. In this slide, you can see 12 pilot lines, the 12 pilot lines that are being upgraded and upscaling in the frame of the project. These pilot lines are grouped in 3 main groups. 3 pilot lines related to nanoscale structures in unprocessed form with intrinsic functionalities. 4 more pilot lines for intermediate product with nanoscale features, and other 4 pilot lines for nano-enabled products. These 12 pilot lines are in Europe, in Spain, Germany, France, Poland, and Greece. So graphically, when a client knocks on the OASIS SEP looking for light and multifunctional structures, the client access to a network of facilities and services. The client will find 12 pilot lines operating under a sustainable ecosystem that aims at ensuring a competitive, quality, safe, and environmentally friendly production of nano-enabled products. The client will also find technical services going from primary concept to final qualification of the products, including material selection, manufacturing processes, product and process design, modeling and simulation, as well as characterization and testing. In addition, specific services related to nanotechnology, such as sustainable manufacturing diagnosis, environmental and nanosafety, safe by design approaches, and also life cycle analysis can also be found. Lastly, the client will also find business support services to understand market needs and accelerate market commercialization of the products developed. Well, when the client leaves the OASIS Open Innovation Testbed with a solution, he feels he got more than expected. With a feeling the whole development chain was covered, the use case developed in a business is a business opportunity, can be commercially exploitable, and potential investors have been identified. The most important thing is the client will probably be back in the future due to the unique combination of products and services OASIS is offering. One of the strengths of the project is the group of 6 global leaders representing high-impact sectors: mobility, transportation, construction, packaging, and energy, that will implement in real cases the materials and components developed through the 12 pilot lines and associated services. These companies will work on 6 showcases. These companies are OITB clients. These companies are knocking on the OASIS single entry point and are looking for light and multifunctional structures. The showcases target specifications that will be reached by 1 or 2 or 3 or more pilot lines. In terms of products, specific services will be defined and developed for each of the 6 showcases. Several KPIs for the Open Innovation Testbed have been identified and will be validated through the development of the showcases. The success in reaching showcases specifications, in fulfilling the KPIs for the Open Innovation Testbed, in receiving a positive impact from the companies, will be an indicator for pilot lines offering the right product and associated services. So the 6 global leaders are developing real cases to validate the pilot line and the associated services. The SEP, the single entry point, will then be ready as a one-stop full package offer for the European industry. While OASIS single entry point is ready, the OITB will be and has been open to the industry through an open call to foster innovation in key industrial sectors and support the development and market uptake of key enabled technologies. Companies will develop demo cases, will access specific services to develop multifunctional nano-level products, and this open call has been open. New SMEs, industries, individuals, academia, and RTOs will be attracted. Demo cases will be developed in the course of 6 months, developing specific demonstrators and also accessing to specific services with the aim to develop multifunctional and nano-level products. So now I pass the word to my colleague, Roman Pasek, and he will give more details about the open call, how applicants can get access to the application.
So thank you, Sonia. So I see that we already have some questions, so do not hesitate to type your questions in the question box. Before I hand over to Roman, I will ask you some new questions. So the first one is, which technical services raise your interest? So pilot line products, product processing and engineering, design, modeling and simulation activities, testing and characterization, or sustainability. So you can select several answers, and I will let you some time to answer this poll. So I see that less of the half of the attendees have answered, so I will let you some extra time. And I will close in a few seconds. I will ask you a second question about the business services. So which business services raise your interest? Business support and coaching, access to private and public funding, or dissemination and marketing activities? Again, you can answer several. So I will choose some second to answer. So I see that people are still answering. And I will close it now. So now that you got a brief introduction of the OASIS project and its activities and how it works, Roman will present you how you can apply and what you need to apply to this opportunity. So Roman, the floor is yours. I will give you the control. So now you have the control.
Okay, let me just try whether that works. Okay, yeah, seems to work. All right, so thank you very much for this introduction, Julian, and for the initial word by Sonia. So my name is Roman Pasek. I'm a program manager at Amires, which is a consulting company working mostly in Horizon 2020 projects. And in OASIS, my role is that of the project manager, but also dissemination manager, and I'm also responsible for setting up of the open call. So that's the topic of my speech now. I will try to cover all of the main aspects of the open call so that you understand how it works and how you can actually engage with the OASIS OITB. But of course, if you have any lingering questions, feel free to ask them in the chat. Now, Julian, it doesn't seem to work for me. I don't know how I can move the slides. Okay, now it is work. So hopefully it'll work also further on. So just to summarize, as was said already, OASIS basically is an ecosystem of 12 distinct nanotechnology manufacturing pilot lines, but there are also associated services onto that, including also business supporting services. So it should be one whole package. The end result of the demo cases, that's what we call the cases which will be selected through this open call. The end results of those will be a functional product or part demonstrator or a prototype, which should be, let's say, as close to market adoption as possible. So it should also be associated with an exploitation plan, as we're really looking at products that will be able to enter the market as soon as possible. So basically, this is a slide summarizing the reasons for why you should be considering applying in this open call. So basically, the main benefit is that you get free access to this ecosystem of 12 nanotechnology manufacturing pilot lines. So providing the whole set of services and products and nanomaterials as was already described. The main benefit is that you will be provided with a tailor-made package, let's say, of support. So so the services are not, let's say, set in stone, but they are dependent on the case you come up with, or the project idea you come up with, and it integrates both technical and business expertise and services from the OASIS consortium. The contribution, which is free of charge and which you can expect, is basically composed of the labor, so of the qualified human resources working for the service providers within the consortium, but also consumables, materials which will be required for creating the product demonstrator, and of course the, let's say, machine hours, or the access to the equipment and infrastructure, that the unique equipment and infrastructure that we have within those pilot lines. So next slide, please. So who can actually apply? So we've decided to keep this as open as possible. So any type of organization can apply, regardless of the type, of size, or field of activity. So you can see in this list that we are supporting companies, research organizations, even universities, or public bodies. There is one important thing to note, though, and that is that, of course, we are mostly trying to foster the competitiveness of European businesses. Therefore, we have set a threshold for support for small and medium-sized enterprises. So half of the demo cases that will be supported through this open call will be those led by SMEs, which means that in the end, in the final ranking, some SMEs with lower scores might actually rank higher than proposals with higher scores, because of the type of organization in this regard. So next slide, please. So the timeline is hopefully fairly clear. The call has already been opened at the end of June and will be closed at the end of July next year. So the time span is quite long. We will have two cutoff dates within this time frame. So first one will be already on the 31st of January, and the other will be at the end of the call itself. You, the applicants, can work on your proposals in the system that we have set up for this at any time, and you can submit, or you can also revisit your proposals at any time. But there is one important thing to note. After you click on the submit button in the system, you won't be able to take that action back, so you won't be able to change the proposal anymore. So next slide, please. So this slide kind of summarizes the whole process which is behind it, also with the exact dates. So first off, of course, there are the cutoff dates when the proposal should be submitted. Then there is 1 week for a first check of the eligibility of the proposals in terms of mostly technical feasibility. Then, if it passes this first check, we have 4 weeks for evaluation. There will be a separate technical and business evaluation, because we, let's say, value both of these aspects evenly. There will be 4 evaluators, 2 + 2 for the technical and the business aspects, so that we can really ensure that the selection is as balanced and unbiased as possible. But then the next step is the evaluation by the evaluation panel. So that is composed, let's say, of all the main partners involved in this process and their evaluators, because on top of, let's say, the evaluation on proposal level, there also needs to be an assessment on the portfolio level. So of all the applications that we get, because we must ensure that the cases that are being selected are balanced in terms of use of the different pilot line services, and also in terms of, let's say, the capacities that are being used for the execution of these demo cases. Because what we, of course, cannot have is that all of the selected demo cases would only be, let's say, using a few of the services from a few of the single providers, because that might overload their capacity, and we are trying to make a balanced selection. So these factors might also affect the final ranking, which is important to note. Then after the final selection is made, we come down to the assignment process. So each of the selected cases will be assigned a service delivery manager who will go through this process together with them and will basically elaborate the what we call service delivery plan. So that's the SDP, in order to really negotiate what will be the best kind of solution for you in your case, what will be the best services, who will be the service providers, in what capacity, and so on. And at the end of this timeline, you have the proposed or the expected start dates of the demo cases. Next slide, please. So this is basically summarizing the concrete steps you should take in order to take part in this open call. You will all get these presentations, so you can also click through with these links to have a look at the documents. But basically, we encourage everyone to check out the project webpage, of course, browse through the catalog of services to see what's actually being offered. Read the application guidelines, which will guide you through the whole process, and then register in the submission software. Then you will fill in the application data. You should also make a preliminary choice of services. So there are these tick boxes where we can just indicate what you are actually interested in, so that we can take that into account in the assessment. Then you download a Word document application form. You fill it in with your project, save it as a PDF file, and upload, and that's it. We've tried to keep the process as simple as possible. So next slide, please. As I said, we've tried to keep the process as simple as possible, but we understand that of course there might be questions from you. So we have set up a help desk. So that's an email address you can see in front of you. So helpdesk@project-oasis.eu. We also have a phone number which you can call within, let's see, normal or standard business hours. And we strongly encourage all of the participants who are, let's say, considering applying for OASIS to check well in advance before submitting their proposal the technical and also business feasibility of your ideas. So if you're unsure if your idea is suitable for what OASIS has to offer, you can contact us via the phone or the email, and we can discuss it. So next slide, please.
That was the last one, I think.
That was the last one. I thought so. Yeah. Okay, so that's it from me then, and I will be happy to answer your questions at the end of these presentations. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you very much, Roman. And if there are questions about the application process, so do not hesitate to type them now, and we will get back to them at the end. So now we have a great introduction of the OASIS and how you can apply. We want to show you some example of companies working with the OASIS project. So I will hand over to Asuncion from Airbus, who will introduce you her showcase. So, Asuncion, I will give you the possibility to share since we have issues.
Right. Okay, if it's working.
Now, share your presentation, please.
Okay, perfect.
Perfect.
You can see my screen? Yes.
Yes, it's perfect. We can see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So thanks, Julian. Let me introduce myself. My name is Asuncion Butragueño. I'm working in Airbus in the commercial division, and I'm working in the material and processes department in composite technology. And I am also composite failure analysis expert. And of course, in the OASIS project, I'm the technical leader of the Showcase 5 that is based on multifunctional nano-based layer for aeronautical structure. So let me speak a little bit about Airbus. Airbus is an international pioneer in the aerospace industry. So we are designing, manufacturing, delivering aerospace products, but also services and solutions to our customers. We are organized in 4 different divisions depending on our products. So commercial aircraft, helicopters, defense, and also space. And in the case of commercial, where I'm working on, we have different aircraft models with different number of passengers and range of the distance that the aircraft can fly. And mainly we are working on 5 different models. About the Showcase 5, it's true that nowadays we can optimize our structure, and we have a lot of new manufacturing processes that allow us to produce the more and more complex part. And of course, we use a lot of composite materials because, well, due to the advantage that these materials can have in comparison with metallic materials. So for instance, this is the section 19 of the A350. This is a fuselage section that is installed at the rear end of the aircraft. This is a composite part, full barrier, with omega stringers and reinforced with frames. And well, as you can see, in this case, it's a fuselage panel, but also this section has double curvature, and it makes sometimes difficult to repair due to the shapes. So this is why we have to be focused on how to repair this type of structure. In both cases for production, but also in some cases when we have some manufacturing issues, but also when we have some damage, accidental damage during the service. For this type of repairs, we have to focus on 3 main aspects. First is the weight, because in the aeronautical industry, we have a lot of issues with weight, because the more weight, the more consumption of our aircraft. We have also to take care about the customer satisfaction, because if we apply a bolted repair, this type of repair needs bolts, and the bolts are visible by the customer. So in some cases, it's not nice to have this type of repair. And of course, we have to take care of the energy consumption. So the state of the art allow us to repair this part. And we have two main options. The first is the local heating, and the second is to heat up the complete part of the aircraft. In the case of local heating systems, in some cases they are not flexible enough to cure properly the composite material, for instance, the thermal blanket, or in some cases this type of heating cannot be used in the 100% of the surface of our structure, for instance, the hot air boxes. And if we use the complete composite part curing, we have to take care, because it could damage the part, and also it makes the repair costly, because we have to heat up the complete part instead of a small area. So what we are looking is for something that could help us on this type of repair, and what we have to fulfill are some technical requirements. In terms of processing, we have to fulfill our curing cycles, so 180 degrees with their tolerances, heating rate, and also we have to cure our materials at high pressure, so between 7 or 10 bars of pressure. And in case this heating system is integrated in the structure, we have to find another, well, we have to take care of the system, the weight, and then this system cannot weigh more than 100 grams square meter. So what we are asking to the Showcase 5 and the OASIS project, we are looking for an autoclave composite curing process that is using a resistive heating sheet that are flexible enough to be able to be adapted to simple and also complex panels, and fulfilling the standard epoxy cure material cycles. This heating system can be integrated or not in our structure, but in case is integrated, we have to find an application. So, for instance, structural health monitoring. So the main objectives will be to cure composite materials during production or during assembly or even in service, with a flexible heating system to avoid the complete heat up of the part. And also, if it is integrated, we will want to find a structural health monitoring system to be used. In the showcase, we are focused on two different solutions: the external heating system. So in this case, we will use a heater. We will apply the core cycle and we will remove. And the other possibility is to use an integrated heater element. And in this case, the heater element will be placed on the part, will be used to cure the part, and will stay on the aircraft during the in-service life. In both cases, this heater is based on bucky papers, so carbon nanotube layers, and we will look for different characteristics in each case. So in the case of external flexible heaters only, we will look for part curing processes and also repair curing processes. And in the case of integrated heater element, we will use this heater for part curing, not only for repair, and it will be used in service with this additional functionality, as for instance, the structural health monitoring. The structural health monitoring will allow us to check if the part has any defect. You may know that during the service life of the aircraft, in some cases we have accidental damage, virus strikes, stones, or whatever. And in some cases we have to inspect our structure in order to check if they are damaged or not and apply the relevant repair process. So during the showcase, this is the service that we will use. So in the first line is the definition of the material. Second line in green, the first trial that we will do. And the third line in blue, this is the final solution that we will apply. In this showcase, we have 4 partners. So University of Patras, Adamant, TMBK, and also Tecnalia. And all of them are working to develop these 2 solutions. So Tecnalia is providing the bucky paper, is performing, so you can see here Tecnalia, they produce the bucky papers, and they will perform some integration of the material, and also they will perform all the trials that we need to assure that the heater is properly working. Adamant, on the right, will help us to develop the integrated solution. So they are trying to modify the bucky paper in such a manner that we can integrate it in our structure with no drawbacks. So weight, but also compatible with all our requirements. And TMBK is working on the development of the external heating system with different materials. So during the intermediate scale process, what we are doing is using the modeling, different materials, and some trials in order to check which will be the best solution for us. So we are using thermoplastic materials, we are using glass fabric materials, we are using different strips, metal strips, in order to have the resistive equipment. And at the end, we will have 1, 2, whatever solutions that fulfill our requirements, and we will make a characterization of the heater and also of the part that we will cure in order to assure that everything is okay. And once the final configuration of external heating and integrated solution is defined, we will use this heating system in one of our real structure in order to assure that we can apply also in simple, complex part and also in the real shop floor facilities. And yes, this is all for me. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Asuncion, for your complete presentation. So if you want to do like Airbus, do not hesitate to check the catalog of services you can find on the OASIS project, so you can also combine different pilot lines to build a project and to develop new lightweight multifunctional products and materials. I will now hand over to our last speaker, Zampia, who will present also how Pleione Energy works with the support of OASIS in the field of building. So, Zampia, I will give you the possibility to share. Here.
Do you see my presentation now?
Yes, but you're on presenter mode. Can you switch to the full screen?
Wait,
It's on the top, usually.
Yeah. Sorry, wait 1 moment. Now, is everything okay?
It's okay, thank you.
Okay. Also, I'll try to open my camera just to say hello to everyone. I'm Zabia Kalopridi from Pleione Energy. And before starting the presentation, I would like to thank you all for attending this webinar today. I'm going to, unfortunately, I have to close the camera because I have some internet connection problems the last days. So let's go to the presentation again. Before starting, I would like to give you a quick overview of our company. Okay. Pleione Energy, founded in 2015, is an international joint venture between the Greek company Adamant and the German company Omnidea. Our company develops cost-effective products and applications for the energy and space sector, and the primary application field is the design and development of advanced storage systems through application of nanotechnology in batteries and supercapacitors. Our activities involve R&D to explore the potential of graphene and other nanomaterials on current and future energy storage technologies, as well as product development to introduce innovative products in focused markets, such as space and green buildings, enabling further the energy transformation. Now, we participate in OASIS as the end user of Showcase 6 to further develop our novel energy storage solutions for the building sector. The aim of this showcase is the development of a sound-absorbing, prefabricated, lightweight panel with integrated energy storage capabilities and advanced functionalities in terms of environmental sensing and safety. The main objective is to widen the use of nanotechnology and composites in the building sector by designing energy-efficient products with enhanced performance. But why developing advanced supercapacitor energy storage systems? The main problem is that commercially available storage devices like the power banks use poor quality batteries to charge electrical devices that ruin their health and life cycle and also destroy the end user experience. This is mainly because of the usage in the batteries that are not so reliable. So advanced lithium-based systems provide high energy density, but with increased degradation, leading to an operational life of no more than 3,000 cycles. Moreover, they are not environmental friendly and have low charging rate. Supercapacitors are considered as one of the potential candidates in the domain of energy storage devices for the forthcoming generation. So what we propose is the development of a prefabricated panel with integrated packy paper-based energy storage cells. Bucky papers can provide essential improvement potentials for the development of these systems. So the innovative step is the combination of composites with novel energy storage materials into a durable, high-performance, and cost-effective product. Our product can not only reduce the general noise within enclosed areas, but also charge electrical devices like phone and tablets. Thus, the product will be ideal in a variety of spaces, including offices, libraries, hotels, conference rooms, exhibition areas, and others. Now, the final proposed product will have 10,000 operation cycles, and it can charge faster, up to 1.5 hours, than a typical battery power bank that needs at least 3 hours for a full charge. Moreover, it will charge high-power devices like laptops and can charge multiple devices simultaneously with different voltage and current levels. Now, towards the product development, 4 pilot lines of OASIS are involved, covering all the different parts and materials needed to deliver the final product proposed by Leon. Tecnalia, using its pilot line, develop and provide tailorable Bucky paper electrodes with improved capacitance to meet the specific requirements of our showcase. Pilot line 6 of Adamant will be used for the development of prefabricated lightweight panel based on eco-friendly composite materials and the integration of the additional functionalities in the selected prepreds. Also, flame-retardant nanoparticles are developed by the pilot line 3 of Fraunhofer for integration in the prefabricated panel to achieve safe energy storage performance. Moreover, seat-to-seat printing devices from SEA is planned to be utilized in order smart printing sensors to be integrated in the prefabricated panel to add functionalities that will enhance the end-user experience. Now, Pleon Energy is the leader of the showcase and also developed the final supercapacitor cells. Reference Bucky paper electrode performs as well as standard carbon black electrode, but the main goal is to improve the performance of the Bucky papers to outperform materials already on the market. To this end, several manufacturing routes have been made by Tecnalia to develop customized Bucky papers. So Tecnalia worked on different scenarios of materials, from reference Bucky papers to hybrid formulation Bucky papers with different weight fraction of metal oxides. Moreover, Tecnalia studied different bath concentration and deposition times, since apart from the metal oxides content, deposition time appears to be critical. As it can be seen from the diagram on the right, optimum deposition time appears to be 14 hours, since it develops Bucky paper electrode with initial capacitance above the target level. So up to now, 30% increase in capacitance have been achieved, which correspond to 180 farad per gram. Leon with Tecnalia, together with Tecnalia, have investigated also various substrates for the transformation of Bucky papers into self-standing electrodes, starting from conventional copper foils, aluminum foils, and other metallic foils. Also, different electrolyte and current collectors have been investigated for the manufacturing of the supercapacitor cells. And based on the results, we have concluded to pouch cells with Bucky papers made on copper foil and organic electrolyte. Towards supercapacitor cell development, several development routes have been also performed with main aim to enhance the life cycle. Small pouch cells with one pair of electrodes have been developed and have reached up to now 1,000 operation cycles. The results have been shared to all involved partners to be studied so as to identify the next steps to further develop the final solution and reach the targeted operation cycles. In parallel, Adamant worked on panel dimension and architecture option of the final product, as well as on the process design for the prefabricated panel production. Materials based on eco-friendly and recyclable composite materials have been also selected for manufacturing the panel, which will be the casing of our Bucky paper-based energy storage system. Fire-retardant prepregs for panel's face sheet have been selected. Inside the panel will be a thermoplastic honeycomb sandwich core. The panel will be covered with a layer of sound-absorbing mat on each side and can also be covered with a fabric to complete the process. The material selection and the construction method provide strength in tension and fire resistance. And because we need our product to be somewhat rigid, yet lightweight, using the thermoplastic honeycomb core is the perfect material choice. Moreover, magnetic nanoparticles with inductive heatability will be synthesized by Fraunhofer. The aim is to further increase the flame retardancy property of the composite materials by integrating them into the prefabricated panel produced by Adamant. Further functionalities in terms of electronics and sensing of environmental conditions will be also added to the final product. SEA will provide us with C2C smarted printed sensor, which can be processed and integrated on the nanocomposite substrate. So after the completion of our product through OASIS, Plion target to replace conventional battery-based power banks with supercapacitor technology and grow our business by expanding into a new market. The unique selling points of our final product is the use of fast charge technology through the use of Bucky papers. The Bucky paper-based supercapacitor power bank will have very low charging time, 50% faster than a typical battery power bank. The product also can be tailored to the customer requirements and specifications, so all finishes and dimensions of the panel can be designed according to their budget and application. All materials used are eco-friendly and safe and convenient alternatives for the built environment. Finally, the sound-absorbing panel can provide additional environmental sensing functionalities to the end user. So either you are a startup, an SME like we are, or a big company that need to further develop, scale up, or optimize its product, one of the biggest benefits of attending OASIS project is the opportunity that it can give you to de-risk before full production, which is very important. You have access to unique facilities of 12 nanotechnology manufacturing pilot lines without high capital investment. It can also provide you high-level and reliable nano-based solutions and services that best match your exact needs. The services provided cannot cover the whole development chain. Moreover, you will be benefit from collaborating with leading research organizations, a number of innovative technology suppliers, and recognized experts in business development. That's all from my side, and I will be glad to answer any questions. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Zamtia, for your presentation, and want also to thank Sonia, Roman, and Asuncion for their presentation. I guess now our participants got a better understanding of how they can combine different pilot lines and how they can apply to the unique OASIS opportunity. As we are coming to the end of the webinar, I would have two more questions for our participants. So the first one is, do you plan to apply? Yes or no? I will let you some time to answer. And I will close. I am happy to see that more than half of the attendees want to apply. I will launch the last question. Would you like to use the feasibility check for your project ID? So yes or no? So thank you for your answers. I will close now. So while I summarize the timeline for you, please use the last minute to type your question in the question box so we can go back to them after this last discussion. So today we have heard about the showcases by Airbus and Pleione in the field of aeronautics and buildings, and how they are innovating with the support of OASIS. Sorry. And during our first webinars back in July and back in September, we also have presentations from Ford, Acciona, VDL Fibertech, and Thales that have also explained how they are innovating with the OASIS support. And the recording of these webinars are also available on the project websites. Regarding the applications, keep in mind that the first cutoff is end of January next year for demo cases that will start in May, and the second application run will close end of July for project and for demo cases that will start in November. So with this information, we have officially reached the end of our presentation, and I will now open the Q&A session. So we have some questions here. Do we need to be an incorporated company to apply, or can the company be registered after the application? So I think it's a question for Roman about the eligibility criteria.
Sure, happy to answer that. So basically, as I said, the open call is open to any type of organization, so it doesn't need to be a company. Of course, if you are, let's say, planning to register a company, it would be best to register in the system as, let's say, the other category, so basically as a physical person. And it would be best if you also mentioned it in the proposal that a company is about to be registered, because one of the aspects that is being evaluated is the let's say implementation capability and the experience also of the applicants and their capability to execute the demo case. So this can definitely help this aspect. Hopefully that answers the question.
Thanks. Another question on eligibility criteria. Can SMEs apply alone, or do they need to partner with big companies? I guess the answer is no.
There's no need for partnering, so we expect companies or whatever other type of organizations to be applying on their own, which doesn't exclude consortia, I would say, but I guess that the majority of the applications will be through single entities.
I have a question on technical aspects. Does the call include novel coatings or just bulk materials, e.g. thermal control coatings for polymer composites or corrosion protection of aluminum? Maybe Sonia, you can answer that.
Yes. No, the call can also include these two topics you were mentioning. And as Roman mentioned, all applications will be evaluated, and the accordance of the applications and on the proposed demo to be developed with the project products developed and services developed will be also evaluated. So yeah, it can be considered, yes.
Okay, thanks. I have a question about confidentiality aspects. So is the application protected with an NDA? To what extent are we asked to expose our technology?
Right, so I will again try to answer that. So basically, of course, you have to disclose at least something in order for the proposal to be, for us to be able to assess and evaluate the proposal. We don't have, let's say, a written non-disclosure agreement between ourselves. What we do have is a confidentiality clause, which is in the submission software in the portal, where we specifically determine for what kind of purposes we will be using the data, which means we will only be using them for internal processes for the evaluation of the proposals. The data cannot go outside of this process and outside of OASIS consortium, with the exception of European Commission services, because obviously OASIS is a project funded by the European Commission, so we need to disclose that information to them if asked as well. So I would say that you don't need to worry about the information being public. of course, but you do need to disclose so much or as much as is necessary for us to understand the gist of the project. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, thank you. I have a question now about intellectual property. So basically, who will own the intellectual property at the end of the project?
So if you check the website and the links we are providing within this presentation, you will also get to a document which is called Demo Case Collaboration Agreement. So this will basically be the contract that we will be signing with you in order to execute this this demo case. And in there, you will also find clauses relevant for IPR protection. Generally speaking, of course, you will also probably be going into this demo case with some pre-existing background knowledge, and there will also be some used from the side of the service providers. So it is expected that this will be, let's say, shared for the purposes of the project. But when it comes to the results stemming out of the project, it is expected that the, let's say, the author of the IPR will be its owner in the end. So that really depends on who comes up with it within the course of the project. But as I said, you can check how exactly this is defined on the website in the Demo Case Collaboration Agreement document.
Great, thank you. I have a question in terms of eligibility again. Can I apply if my company is not active in the field of automotive, aerospace, or building, like the big companies you showed?
Yes, of course you can. We are not limiting ourselves to any given field or industrial sector. So whatever sector you're coming from, you're very welcome to apply.
Okay, great. And the last question will be: I am only interested in technical services. Can I only apply for them?
We are getting this question quite frequently. Basically, we are asking the applicants to choose at least 2 technical and at least 1 business supporting service from, let's say, the catalog, from the list of services that we are offering. Of course, when it comes to the application itself, this is only indicative. The, let's say, real composition of the services that you will be using for your demo case will then be subject to the negotiation after your proposal has been selected. But as I was trying to stress in my presentation, the point here is to also, let's say, focus a lot or give the same weight also to the business aspects of these projects, meaning that we really want the cases to be successful, to actually come to market adoption. So yes, it is necessary to choose at least one of those services as well, but the content of those services can be very much customized depending on your actual needs.
Okay, so thank you. That was our last question that will close our open web meeting of today. So I want to thank all of our attendants and especially thank our speakers who provided great insights on nanotech innovation in the field of building and aeronautics. Of course, we will inform you as soon as the recordings of today's webinar as well as the slide decks will be made available on the project website. And thank again to everybody and have a great week.
Okay, thank you everyone. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, thank you.